right.
One thing on my mind right now, one story that's on my mind right now that I wanted to talk about is the story with concerning Puff Daddy and his bodyguard, right? One of his former bodyguards, I should say. I've been with him for many years, from what I understand. I'm gonna call the brother's name. I can't really call his name right now. And that's really not important, but I'm sure a lot of us have already seen the video already that he posted. I think it's been up for like a week or two now, something like that. So I saw it last week. So I listened to it. It's a short video. It's a basically short video shoot for what's to come from him, which is a documentary that he's promoting. That he's already promoting. He's showing that the documentary is coming in the future. So this is just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg, so to speak. So what he's saying is he's talking and he's coming out and basically exposing Puff Daddy for being a rat, a scumbag, a low-down, dirty, shiesty, conniving individual. You know what I mean? And you can use a lot of other words to describe him, bad, foul words, but this brother basically saying, he's coming out saying, Big, the night Big got shot and killed, if he would have been listening to him, meaning Puff Daddy, if he would have listened to his early warning from the information that he received, being that he was into the streets, he was actually, his ear was to the streets, as a bodyguard's ear should be. You know what I mean? So he said, with that being said, he said that the night Big got shot and killed, it's Puffy. I don't really believe in this, me personally, but you know what I mean? Now he's going back telling the story, but I believe it was meant to be. Big left here the way he left here because it was already there. You know what I mean? But what he's saying is, he gave him early warning of this information, and he said basically Puffy blew it off. You know what I mean? As, nah, we ain't worried about that, don't worry about that, blase blah, right? This, that, and third. So he's claiming that he wasn't worried about that. So he blew it off. They went to the party, nevertheless, boom. He said upon them leaving, he said they were leading the truck, the SUV that Biggie and his entourage was in. Him, Puffy, and another guy, which was their driver, was driving in front of them. And he said he was still on point because he already knew exactly the information that he got concerning their safety, right? So he said that as they were driving, leaving the club that night in LA, this is minutes before Biggie got killed, shot and killed. So he said they left, and he said he wanted to see if they were being trailed. And this is the smartest thing to do from a bodyguard. He said that he told the driver, some guy named Kenny, that's what he said in the video, he said, Kenny, I want you to run the next 3 red lights. And Big and them was told to follow them. Well, called and I guess tried to call and told to follow them, which they were behind them. And he said, we ran the next 3 red lights. And he said, the first of the next 3 red lights they ran, Biggie and them was supposed to be right behind them. And he said, nevertheless, they got stuck. They didn't run the first red light. He said, we looked behind and they were stuck at the light. And he said, right after that, Biggie got shot. Well, it was the SUV, the so-called white Cadillac, this is what they say, it was a white Cadillac, came up beside the SUV. And this is what they said back then. It was a brother dressed up in the Nation of Islam suit and bow tie, and they even gave his name. And people already know this, they had his name mixed up in this. But from my understanding and from my research and from me keeping up with this information since the murder of Biggie, they said the brother's name was Amir Muhammad that they was trying to lock up, and he was a member of the Nation of Islam, which turned out to be, he was not charged with the murder of Biggie Smalls. He was not charged. I guess they really found out who the brother was, and they took him in for question, and they found out that he had nothing to do with the murder of Biggie Smalls. So that's been already debunked, and that rumor been cleared up. You know what I mean? So, but this is who they described as saying came up and pulled beside the white Cadillac. Well, the white Cadillac pulled up beside, right at the light that brother, the bodyguard, was saying. He told them to run the red lights with them, and they stopped at the first red light. And as soon as they stopped at the first red light, the white Cadillac pulled up beside, on the passenger side of the SUV that they were riding in, and the shots rang out, pop, 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 and Biggie was dead. He died upon arrival at the hospital. Yes. So, with that being said, I mean, and furthermore, the bodyguard is saying, the brother who was his former bodyguard is saying, Puffy didn't really believe what he told him way ahead of time about him having information that someone was going to try to get at him, or these people was going to try to get at them, in his words. And he said, and he went a little further. He spoke about Puff Daddy's father. I already heard stories about his father from many years ago. His father was a hustler in Harlem back in the 70s, you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, a lot of people don't know that. But the brother is coming out with some information that he's been given based upon, I mean, I don't know where his source is from, but he calls a name in the video and says a name which is, he said, New York Freddie, you know what I mean? So evidently New York Freddie, I don't know much about that brother, whoever he is right now, but I mean, of course, in the near future, a lot of information is going to come out on him, you know what I mean, being that he spoke his name. And I'm going to do a little research myself, you know what I mean, and see what I can come up with. But anyway, he called that brother name, I guess he's an OG from New York back in those times when his father was alive and living and doing what he was doing in the streets of Harlem, because he knew him. And he said, he gave the brother the information on, well, that's what he said. He said, matter of fact, his father told him that everything on how his father, P. Diddy's father, is what I'm talking about now. The guy, New York Freddie, is purported to told the brother who was his bodyguard that Puffy's father, back in those days, the cops, NYPD, had already made a deal with him to give him $10,000. So $10,000 to rat out his own crew. You know what I mean? I don't know if that, I'm not gonna say the $10,000 was given to him for that, but I believe it was something, I mean, he was gonna pay $10,000 to buy the tape. I don't know if it was the brother who was gonna pay $10,000 to buy the tape, or it went something like that. This is still early, so you know what I mean? But anyway, I mean, we won't delve too much into that right now, but anyway, $10,000 was thrown around, I guess to say, like, I believe he said $10,000 was gonna be given to him, for him ratting out his whole crew at that time. And he already wrote the statements and I guess gave the verbal, he said it verbally, he gave the verbal statement saying that basically that he was going to do that. And before he got a chance to do that, he was killed, because the streets got hold of the information, I guess, and knew who he was and what he was about. Freddie, who the bodyguard talked about in his video shoot, said that he called a meeting to meet with Puffy, and he was going to tell Puffy all of this in his meeting that he was calling with him. But the meeting never took place. Maybe Puffy he was scared to meet with him, or whatever the case may be. Everyone knows the type of guy I believe Puffy is if you've been around. And I'm 43, so I've been around, you know what I'm saying, for many years. I ain't just I ain't just jumped off, you know what I mean, the porch already, so to speak. Like recently, I ain't just did that. I've been around. So I can say this, I never known Puffy personally, but me being there from the beginning of his career and watching him grow from who he was into who he is now, and knowing all of the artists he dealt with along the way, and knowing and being able to physically be there and live through all of this, all of that, as far as seeing the artists he dealt with and what happened to them, I can honestly say, given my assessment of him and his career thus far, that he is, and just really tuning into him over the years, man, and really looking to get a good feel of who he is, man. I feel that he is a snake, you know what I mean? He is a snake. The snake, the low down, conniving, dirty ways that he shows, the underhand, backdoor business that he does, and how he handles his artists, you know what I mean? It shows, because every one of his artists, we can look at them right now, all of them were disgruntled towards him at that time. At that time, whatever that was they was going through with him. And they still are. They really don't want nothing else to do with him, really. All of the artists, man. All of the artists, man. I'll say the majority of them. So, I mean, it can't be the artists, man. If you got 15 or 16 or 17 or more artists all saying the same thing about you, man, just about all of them saying the same thing about you, man, you come on, man. You can't say it's not you. And now this coming out, this right here might seal the coffin on this guy right here. And to tell you the truth, if he is, which I believe he is, this individual, this type of individual, man, see, these the type of people that we got to get rid of before we move forward and make any progress. They're gonna have to be eradicated. You know what I'm saying? Because they are what I would call impeding our process, man, our progressive steps forward. You know what I mean? As a people. You know what I'm saying? Because when you become like that, greed, you have greed, lust, envy, hatred. You just a conniving, low-down individual, always trying to shice people. Your own artists, man. Out of their money, you actually attributed the ways and actions of the devil to yourself. You actually became him. You know what I'm saying? Because he taught you the business. You know what I mean? He taught you the business. So you actually became him. And this is how you chose to handle your artists. And this is how you chose to conduct yourself. Mean people. So, Puffy, whichever name you go around. But you know, one thing's for sure I can say, I mean, you know, the locks went in on him years ago. Craig Mack, what's my man name, the other guy, man? I'm gonna tell you his name. Mark Curry. If we can't, you know what I mean? If we can't move forward with them still in the way, you know what I mean? With them doing shadiness and living like this amongst our people. Because, I mean, you know, it's bad enough that we got to deal with the white man, you know what I mean, and his devilish ways and actions. As we already know, the type of people they are and what they've been, I mean, basically pounding us with for all these hundreds of years and taking us through. You know what I mean? As far as in the record business also, how they've been screwing out entertainers and artists around for all these years, man. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I mean, you know, and then you, the same color as me, supposed to be my brother, and you showing the same ways and attributes of the devil. You know what I mean? The devil that you claim to be against, the devil that you claim to not like because he screwed you too coming in the business, the devil who you claim, you know what I mean, who you came, screwed you out of this and that too, treated you this way, treated you unfairly, did this and did that to you. You turn around and you show the same ways and actions, and you issue them out on your same brothers and sisters, your same people, the people who are just like you, for no other reason than greed. Greed, greed, greed. More money, more money, more money. I mean, basically, once you get to a certain point, how much more money do you need? You gotta ask yourself that. Are you willing to sell yourself out and sell your peoples out for money, for more money after you have accumulated a certain amount already? Ask yourself that. What is it worth? What is it worth? What is it worth to gain the whole world and lose your soul in the process? Huh? Ask yourself that. If you really about that life, like a lot of people say, you would be about your people. The advancement of your people as a whole. Because as far as you're not gonna only go but so far by yourself. You know what I mean? You see all the other ethnic groups out here advancing, man. The ones that's showing unity amongst themselves, that's because the reason why they advancing because they showing just that, unity. They pooling their resources together to expand economically, man, and financially. And they do it because they found the key. The key is nothing but unity, man. The key is nothing but unity. That's what it is. Nothing but unity. I mean, that's the key. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said something years ago. He said, our unity is more powerful than an atomic bomb, man, a nuclear weapon, man. You know how powerful that is, man? He said, all we gotta do is come together. And when we do that, we'll take over by night. We'll take over overnight. It'll be an overnight changing of the guard, so to speak. That fast, yeah? I believe it. Because I seen the power of unity, man. I seen it. Yeah, so, back to him, back to this story right here, and I'm gonna wrap it up, really, because in actuality, it's not gonna be a very long shoot, and so I'm gonna get back on that and furthermore wrap this thing up. With that being said, these type of people, and that's a hot topic right now. This is an issue that's being talked about amongst our people, man, especially on social media. You know what I mean? I really personally, I believe those guys, and it's a few others, man, but he's actually one. We're not picking him out to beat up on him solely by himself. He's at a status right now within our culture that he has influence over the youth. You know what I mean? He has a lot of influence. So, we gotta speak directly about this issue right here because he has a lot of influence. I mean, we can go on and on and on. I can really go in on as far as him and his career and the type of influence that he brought to our culture, and which he did bring influence to our culture. He made some good music, you know what I mean? Good music that we all dance to, that we all party to or whatever. But at the same time, you know what I mean? He brought a lot of negative things that he didn't have to bring. Just him being who he was and I guess following, like we said, following the path that already been laid out by the devil, you know what I mean? Caused him to do a lot of things that hurt and harmed and hurt our culture, you know what I mean? And I guess, you know what? I look at that now with what's coming out with him, over everything else that happened within his whole career, and I look at this as being just like retribution, man. You know what I mean? Because, you know what I mean? I believe this right here is like, once it destroys his whole image, and I believe it's definitely possible that it can do that. So we're gonna wait and see on that in the near future. But if that happens, I believe this can most surely be the ending of him, man, basically, as being taken for anything other than a joke. Basically basically, yeah. He won't be taken for anything other than a joke, man, after this. You know what I mean? Because everyone out here, whenever they see his face, they're gonna see a fraud. They're gonna see a fake. They're gonna see a snake. They're gonna see a lying, deceitful devil. You know what I mean? In a black face. You know what I mean? And we got a lot of those, like I said before, on the previous shoot. And that's a whole other topic, like I said before also. So we got a lot of those. Devils walking around out here with black faces and black skin, you know what I mean? And brown skin, so to speak. So, you know, that's something we got to deal with as a people, and we will. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, you know, it's not hard. It's not hard to weed out the bad weeds in the garden. It's not hard to do that. Those who've been endowed with the power to be able to do that and the insight to be able to do that, it's not hard. You know what I mean? But with that being said, you know, we're gonna wrap this up. I mean, you know, that guy right there, like I said before, there's many others out here that we can go in on and bring to the forefront and speak on. But, you know, unfortunately, this vlog right here was only gonna be no more than like 30 minutes. So, you know, we're gonna cut this short right now. You know what I'm saying? And end this one right here on this note right here. I wanna bring to the viewers out there this particular information about my business. This right here is one of my lists. My business is called Wakil's Oils. This right here is my business logo, copyrighted. And this is this week's list for my oils. I sell men's and women's body oils. I sell incense, and also I sell shea butter. And you know, this right here is my prices right here. This right here is my number, which I believe, I mean, you know, the viewers can see that, but I'll give you my number, also my info. You know, this is my telephone number, my cell number 704-634-9509. And I'm on Facebook at Wakil Jafar Bilal. So, you know, if anyone want to hit me up and, you know, I mean, do some business, you're more than welcome, because I'm all open for that. And you know, with that being said, I'm going to wrap up this shoot now, family. So, you know, until next time, I'll see y'all peoples in probably another week or two, like I said, and we'll be shooting that vlog, which will be the vlog that I'm really looking forward to, because it's going to be a tone setter. You know what I mean? It's going to be a tone setter. And that's all I'll say, and I'll leave it at that, because I don't want to give too much on that, but it's going to be powerful, family, I'm telling you. So, hey, with that being said, y'all tune in. I hope you tune in on this right here, which was a short, basically short and sweet vlog right here on this situation that I spoke on earlier. And you know, it was basically a filler, like I said. So, you know, with that being said, I want y'all to tune in to the next vlog, because it's going to be powerful. Like I said, it's going to be a tone setter. It's going to be monumental. It's going to be epic. So I want y'all to tune in. But until then, be safe and be easy out here, and travel with ease, and travel with caution, and travel with consciousness, all right? Well, with that being said, family, I'll see y'all next time. Peace and love.
Break down the walls, come back to life, homie, the world is yours. Without a pause, I'm a rebel cause, laws don't apply. I'm above them all, above the sky, how fly am I? All this perfection is God's design. A beautiful mind, skin is earth. Best of creation, the purest birth. I love my life, I choose to be everything I want, so let it be. So let me free, break down the cage, the penitentiary. Break off the chains, I'm no longer a slave. My mind is made, I'm no longer afraid. I'm on fire tonight, you better let me flame. I set this bitch ablaze, I burn the roof off. We don't need water, call the National Guard to restore order. Calling all cars and a news reporter. I can't be stopped, you could call who you wanna. I'm here.